Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to learn how to play Rocky Mountain High by the great John Denver. So what you need to do to get in tune for this one is take your standard tune, acoustic, or electric, whatever you want to play it on, tune to drop D tuning. So take the low E string, tune it down to a D. So it's standard tuning, set the low E string down to a D, and then put a capo at the second fret. So this is kind of how he played it live. There's a lot of guitar layers on the actual recording, but he did a good job of recreating it live with this kind of setup, and so that's why we're going to do it here in this lesson. So we're going to start here with really the main figure of the song. There's a few different parts, but they all have similarities. So we have this. Alright, so it's got some really cool guitar work in here. So I'm going to compare everything to this capo here. So I'm going to call this just a D chord, even though we know it's an E. So we're going to just call this a D, just compare it to, so you just can relate to chords you already know. So you're going to start by strumming this D, and it's fine to just get all the strings in there. Now as you're doing that, you're going to want to accent. So let's just look at that melody first, because it's all kind of based around this chord. You're going to hammer 2 to 4 on the G string, back to 2 on the G. Then hammer on the open string to 4 on the D. So we have this. Over to 2 on that G, which you're already holding. And then back to the 4 on the D twice. And then 2 on the D, and then the open D string. So we have this. Now those last two notes, it's just kind of like the transition of it. So when you're playing that 2-0, you're actually going to be changing to the next chords. So you strum that whole chord and trying to... So do your best to try to keep everything moving. It'll all sound good when you're strumming as long as you have that D chord in your hand. Alright, then you can come down to this chord right here. It's just the second fret on the low E and the A string. Then move it up to the 5th fret and the 7th. You're really strumming the bottom 4 strings there though. And then start over. Alright, so the verse, when the vocals come in, it's pretty similar. It sounds like this. Alright, so that's the whole verse part, and just repeats that. So we're going to start with the same little melody around a D chord. And it comes down to that same chord that it resolves to, but it's quickly going to jump up to a C chord, and then an A chord, A major. And then start over. And then this ending is just like the intro. And then just repeat that for the whole verse. So that basically is half of the verse, what I just played there. So it's that whole thing we just learned 4 full times. All right, and then we get to the pre-chorus, which is probably the most extended part of the song. So it's when we start saying Rocky Mountain High. So it sounds like this. Got a lot of stuff there. So we're going to start with that shape that we did earlier in the song, just at this 5th fret here. There to the A chord, to the D chord. Now the first time through, now when he's playing this first chord, he likes to kind of put his first finger over here over the high E string. So in case you hit that, that note's not in there, so he's muting it. To the A, to the D, and there's that little fill there. That's jumping up here, and playing here at the 5th fret. There, which actually you can see it does the 7th fret if you're not paying attention to the capo. There, and then here down to the 3rd fret. So we had this 5th fret on the high E, 7 on the B and the G, and then bar across the 3rd fret on the 1st and 2nd string, and then the 4th fret there on the G string. And back to the D chord, so this. Then it starts back over, same 3 chords, but instead of going to this this E here, it's a D major chord, but it makes a big E chord in this tuning in this capo. So we're going to move up here. What he's doing there, barring at the 9th fret across the first 3 strings and adding your little finger at the 12th fret on the high E string. In this case, we're seeing it as the 10th fret, right? So anyway, and the bottom 3 strings are open. All right, so we have this all together so far in this pre-chorus. Then start back over all the way to that D chord. Then we have these. We're going to transition up 3rd fret here on the high E, 5th on the B, and 6th. Oh well, I'm getting all mixed up here. 4th on the G. So we have this. That same chord shape moved up 2 frets, and then this D shape again. Up here where we were before. So we have this. And then add your pinky there on the high E string there, the 12th fret. And you can just keep strumming those 3 strings. Or you can do some pull-offs there, which are actually in the recording. I think they're an overdub. Kind of pulling off to that bar that you're holding. Then we finally get to the actual chorus of the song. It sounds like this. So that is just like the intro. So there's not really anything else to learn. We're still doing a little melody. So that's about it. Just a few parts to learn. A lot of similar parts, but some cool little fills in there too that you can throw in there. And when you get it all together, it can sound nice and full on just one guitar. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com. Bye-bye.